Okay, so wala ta nakasugod dayon kay tungod sa question, so let's start na sa atong topic. So, animal breeding present and past. So, why was animal breeding established? So, successful animal breeding depends primarily on the proper choice of parents for the next generation. So, nganong na ay animal breeding, especially in the field of production or livestock production, kaya ang main purpose ni ang desirable traits nga ginapangita sa isa ka animal dapat mo jud to siya ang goal naton i-transfer siya from one generation up to the next generation. So, paano ni siya ma-transfer? Dito na masulod ang concept ng animal breeding. Kay for some, it is just only a hobby, but for thousands of people, they depend upon it for their livelihood. Okay. For example, in some countries or sa Australia, beef cattle, dairy cattle ang common. Of course, when you are raising dairy cattle, unsa may imong goal? Dapat mo taas ang milk yield o milk productions ng imong mga baka. So, as a part of animal breeding or as an application animal breeding, mangita jud ka og parent lineage or let's say parent stock nga katong taas og milk yield or mangita pud kag specific choice of breed nga mao ni siyang akong ganahan pilion kay tungod nga nindot ni maghatag og gatas. So mo to siyang ginakuha nila and then ipadaghanon to nila nga ipadaghanon to the point nga mataas na jud ang ilang production. So for example, dere sa cattle, so mao na siya mga techniques sa livestock. Sa wild animals, actually, ang sa wild animals, more on genetic conservation yung ginabuhat ang application sa animal breeding. Sa pet and companions, yes, mo nagyapon sa lab animals, ang amo mangyapon in terms of, depende. Ang sa lab animals actually, kay depende ni siya sa kung ansa ang gusto or target nila sa ilang research. Pero kung sa livestock animals, we are talking here about productivity. So, as a quick review of domestication of animals sa aton AAS 102, so cattle was derived from aurochs or Bos primigenius, while pigs on wild boars or the Suscrofa. So, daghan kayo mo answer what is the scientific name of domestic pigs. Actually, Suscrofa is wrong. The real answer is Suscrofa domesticus or Sus domesticus. Kaya actually, this type of, or these scientific names came from their origins. So, kung sa cattle, Bos primigenius, kung trinomial scientific name, Bos primigenius taurus for temperate cattle, but for tropical cattle is Bos primigenius indicus or Bos indicus. For pigs, Suscrofa domesticus or Sus domesticus. For the chicken, originated from red jungle fowl, so it's Gallus gallus domesticus or Gallus domesticus. From sheep, ang aton ginaano diri is the mouflon. Most commonly recognized is the mouflon, the Ovis muscimon, and the Orial Ovis orientalis. So, sa aton diri, ang domesticated sheep is the Ovis aris. And for the goat, it is the Bezor, where it is nang originated. So, the Capra aegagrus. So, ang domesticated goat is the Capra aegagrus hircus or Capra hircus. And then for the wild horses or the horses, it's Equus-ferus. So, diri nagikan ang Equus-ferus caballos. Sorry, nga wala na ako na-italize. And then for the Asian wild horse or Equus-chuvasci. So, actually, Chuvasci horse or Przewalski ang pag-pronounce sa iban. But I prefer Chuvasci kay morning tudlo sa among instructor sa una. So, diri nagikan ang iban ng mga horses. Pero ang most common is Equus-ferus caballos. So, diri siya gikan sa Equus-ferus. So, animal breeding foundation. As domestication progressed, animals were selected for special purposes in addition to reproductive fitness. So, of course, one criteria of animal breeding, dapat reproductive capable ang isa ka animal. Kay luoy pod kaayo nga, for example, kanang nindot kaayo ni characteristic sa isa ka baboy kay kanang nindot og karne. Unya kay nindot tinod karne pero ang iyang litter size is just only 8 to 10, which is undesirable. Kay ang desirable is at least an average of 12 liter size or 12 piglets in 1 liter. So mao na siya as domestication progressed. Aside sa ilang reproductive fitness, ginatan-aw pod ang ilang mga desirable characteristic. For example, sa baka, aside nga reproductive fitness, of course, sa baka kung si target nimo, meat quality, resistance to ticks, resistance to harsh climates, isa po na nimo nga gina-consider. So, amo mo po na daghan kayo gina-consider dire. That is why animal breeding was created, and to discern of humans for food, draft, clothing began to influence the choice of animals to leave offspring. So mo na siyang main point dira, dili lang reproductive fitness but other desirable traits which will be discussed in later topics. So practical beginning, so regarding sa history ng animal breeding, so first notable pioneer in animal breeding is Mr. Robert Bakewell, and then follow up ni by the Colling brothers, Charles Colling and Robert Colling. They are the founders of Shorthorn breed of cattle. So sila ni ang first gining sang Shorthorn nag-establish. And for the scientific advances, so Mr. Buffon greatly enlarged the concept of mutability, or kung sa ato man ni the biology of mutation. So unsay purpose jud, unsay significance ng mutation sa animal breeding and also sa animal health. Erasmus Darwin, it is the first one to stress the idea of evolution. And then after which, si Lamarck, siya gid mismo ang nag-further details sa theory of evolution. That's why Lamarck was considered the father of the theory of evolution, which is in contrast sa atong nahibaw-an nga si Charles Darwin, which is the father of evolution. Question is Charles Darwin really the father of evolution? Actually, kung technical aspect naton, it is not, because Lamarck and Erasmus Darwin sila to ang nag-pioneer gid mismo sa concept of evolution. However, si Charles Darwin ang sort of gi-recognize gid as father of evolution. Why? It's because he is the one that made men believe about evolution. So, ang gisulti pagani Darwin's chief glory is not that he discovered evolution, but that he made men believe in it. And what glory he added could be greater than this. So, mo nang gisulti niya sa iyang self. So, what is animal breeding? It is an application of scientific knowledge to the genetic improvement of animals. So, main purpose of animal breeding, genetic improvement. So makita man nato daghan kayo na mag-improvements sa genes sa animals, daghan na kayo yung innovation. Dili lang ta wala lang ang tao ga-innovate sa mga technologies like the machine, kasang una lipay na kaayo sa Tupperware, karon daghan na kayo mga innovation regarding sa mga plastic wares. So also in biological science, daghan pug mga innovation, and one of it is animal breeding. So its main task is to select the most desirable animals based on prediction of genetic merit. So kung unsa to'y nindot or desirable sa kanang animal, moro tong kanunay nila ipa-regenerate from generation to generation. At katong dili kaayo nindot, mo na ang ginabilin nila or kanang ginabayaan na. And true produce superior genotypes by the combination of genetics through breeding plans and systems of mating. So gina-combine nila nga gina-combine. For example, ng overview lang ni, di ba kakita mo Holstein Friesian dire sa Philippines. So we all know that Holstein Friesian was originated in Netherlands. And then we all know Netherlands is a temperate climate, so snow na dito or 4 seasons, unlike sa Philippines nga 2 seasons. So unsaon man nila pag optimize sa milk production sang Holstein Friesian, kay once ibutang mo sa Philippines dire, the productivity of milk production sa Holstein Friesian will not be the same as it is situated in the Netherlands. Ang iban dira gina-crossbreed na nila sa Sahiwal, which is a tropical cattle breed. And then ang combination na is Holstein Sahiwal, mao na siyang kasagaran dire nga makita naton sa Philippines. So in terms of purebred, if you can give them the appropriate environment for them, so maybe bisag dili mo kinahanglan ni crossbreed, pero kay kasagaran diri sa aton sa cattle production is backyard in setting, so alangan naman maghatag ka og air condition nga room para lang sa isa ka buok nga baka, di ba? So better choose animal breeding or innovations in animal breeding. Kay at least atong pagka-heat resistant or pagka-adaptability sa climate sa hiwal nga breed, ma-transfer niya sa Holstein Friesian. So, contributions of animal breeding. So, number one is the frozen semen. What is the purpose of frozen semen? Actually, commonly ni siyang gina-apply sa cattle industry. Kay, kung ano naton, gamay ra kaayo na ang semen volume sang baka. And one way to preserve its semen is to put it in a semen refrigerator. So, of course, once ma-preserve nimong semen, there will be a greater chance nga ang traits ng katong bull kung asa gikan ang semen ma-preserve nila, and not only that, mas daghan nga ma-accommodate nga mga dams or katong mga female cattle nga pwede ma-inseminate sang isa lang ka baka. Kay kung typical natural mating lang, I think 1:10 is too much na, or though medyo desirable sa ibang nga setting, pero not enough kung apas jud kag dako nga productivity. So mao na siyang isa contribution. So maybe one sa cattle semen can sire more than 100, depende na sa capability. Not only that, embryo transfer, one of the contributions of animal breeding. So dili na kinahanglan og natural mating, test tube baby is enough na. So hindi lang siya applicable sa human med, but also gina-apply na ni siya sa animal production. Increase in milk yield. So mo tong giingon na kon gahina nga, of course, sa dairy cattle operations, isa jud nila ka goal is to increase and increase and increase the milk yield, and mao na ni siyang effects ang animal breeding. Ang ilang natural nga milk yield nalapawan na sa isa desirable mismo or nas ni increase na tungod sa animal breeding. And also dramatic changes in broilers. So sa una, when I was in elementary, way back 2000-2010, ang common pa is 45 days nga manok. Karon 28 to 30 days, pwede na ma-harvest ang manok. Ang 45 days, dugay na kaayo na. So another changes na sa animal tungod sa animal breeding, and feed requirements per kilo have been reduced. So sa una, as you can see, the blue one here sa mga graph per animal, nakita ninyo ang production is ga-increase. Tanawa ninyo. Look at my cursor, kung makita ninyo, nan ga-increase siya, whereas the FCR or the feed conversion ratio decreases. So what does it imply? So ganubo ang inputs nga kinahanglan, pero ang production gataas and that is one of the achievements of animal breeding. Not only that, for heavy laying strains, so makita na ninyo no, sang una, under natural setup, kinahanglan pa mismo og i-mate sa rooster ang hen para lang makaitlog. Karon, though it is more on manipulating the physiology of hens, but dili po di mahitabo kung wala po changes in genetics. So ma-observe na ninyo, bisag wala na yung rooster, makaitlog yun nga makaitlog ang hen. So what they do? Aside from light stimulation, of course, nandiyan na sila gibuhat nga related sa animal breeding. And then dramatic change in the conformation and the leanness of swine. Kay, for example, sa una, of course, ang sinauna nga mga baboy, kanang mga wild boars, gagmay kaayo na, pero mga lami po na og taste. Kay syempre, natural na sila, kanang natural brought up na sila naturally. But tungod sa animal breeding, mapadako ang baboy while maintaining their leanness. So mao na siya. And then the development of probe technique for determining the back fat thickness of the live animal. Kay isa sa criteria sa pag-select sang high quality meat is their back fat thickness. So kani karon murag nigamit din sila, I think this is an ultrasound machine, ginagamit nila for probing technique. At least may buwan na nila kung unsa nakabaga ang fat sa isa ka animal, especially ginagamit ni siya sa baboy. Kay ngano man, kay sa una may buwan nila kung ang back fat thickness sang baboy is gamay or dako, of course ihawo man na nila, alangan naman nga kiharon nila ang part dere sang baboy, umigon, oy, nipis ni back fat thickness, unya tahion dayon. No. it is undesirable kasagaran makabalaan may buwan na nila, gislaughter na nila ang baboy. Of course, it will take time. So, mo na ni siya ang innovation ginabuhat nila. So, challenges, genetic engineering. Of course, daghan na kaayo ning mga advances in genetic engineering, ginamanipulate nila ang genes sa isa ka animal para lang makahatag sa desirable trait nga kinahanglan nila. Animal breeding as economic undertaking, yes. Gina-consider jud ang economic or ang economic aspects ng animal breeding kay magsige na pud kag pataka dira o innovate onya di ay dili siya economically wise. Kay maybe mas mahal pang magasto nimo sa experiment compared sa ma-produce nimo. So, gina-consider po da. Consumer demand. Nowadays, ga-increase yung population sa kalibutan. So, ga-increase po ang demand sa food. So, makitaan po ninyo karon sa Philippines, usahay, mahutdan ng tag manok, mahutdan ng tag baboy, not just only because of the outbreak of bird flu and African swine fever, but also i-consider pud nato ang population sang tawo, daghan na kaayo. So daghan na pud pakanon. So diha mag-innovate og technology or breeding concepts kung unsaon na pud nilang mapataas ang, let's say, ang reproductive rate sang isa ka animal. And of course, zero waste management. Unsaon nato pag-manage sang animal breeding nga wala kaayo ta may sayang ng mga possible pwede pa ma-inputs, not just only in animal production but also in other ng types of businesses or in other types of industry nga pwede naton magamit ang ilang mga resources. So gipakita ko ni ang picture dere kay actually it is one of the pictures from PCC or the Philippine Carabao Center. So one of their projects is to promote the growth rate and the milk yield of the Philippine Carabao, which is a very good goal of the Philippine Carabao Center. However, and then ang ilang ginagamit na is by crossing the Philippine Carabao into Miura. Kay botang ang Miura is a large buffalo breed and then taas mo ni siyang may pinakataas og milk yield sa tanan nga breed sa buffalo. So ang ginabuhat nila, gina-cross nila, yes, it produce actually a desirable trait, ni taas jud ang milk yield sang cross and also their growth rate. However, ang challenges dere is their genetic makeup, especially on their karyotype. So kay Bamanta nga ang Carabao belongs to swamp buffalo and then ang ilang karyotype is or ang 2N or ang diploidy level is 48 whereas ang sa Miura is 50. So sa karyotype pa lang dito na ta magduda if the said cross can produce offspring. So dili jud, and then nadyo cases nga nahitabo in real life sa or as an output nila nga ang products sang Miura Philippine Carabao Cross is naka-sterile jud, dili jud sila maka-produce of offspring. Pero may araman cases, that is why ang UP nag-conduct silang study and then it is authored by Dr. Bondok. Pwede nyo na siya matanaw sa internet actually na tanaw, and then most nang ilang gina-consider. So isa ni siya ka challenges sa animal breeding kung in application in the Philippines setup. So that's it. Kung na may questions, pwede mo ka-drop comment or pwede mo ka-PM nakon para ma-entertain naton and then mahatag nakon sa next video. So ang next natong topic will be genetic basis for animal breeding. Hopefully ma-discuss nakon tomorrow. And that's it. Thank you for listening. Hopefully nga naka-reinforce na sa inyo learning. So, God bless.